Hello, my dear students. So today I would like to present a video clip on input tax credit. So regarding input tax credit, I already submitted you the PDF files where I stated the meaning and the conditions to claim input tax credit and mechanism of the input tax credit and other points have to come here. So one of the advantages of the GST is that there is no cascading effect. It means there is no tax on tax. And one more advantage is that it is value addition tax. So both cascading effect and value addition tax are made possible through the introduction of the input tax credit. Here, to avoid the cascading effect and to have a tax only on the value addition by the each dealer of the channels of distribution. So there all registered dealers are entitled to claim the input tax credit. So today we will discuss what is this input tax credit, what are the conditions to claim input tax credit, and the mechanism of the input tax credit. Here, as per section 2 subsection 63 of the CGST Act 2017, input tax credit means credit of input tax. So here, in other way, we can say, so adjustment of the input tax in the output tax is known as input tax credit, or set off of the input tax in the output tax is known as input tax credit. So as per the provisions of the CGST Act 2017, who are entitled to claim input tax credit. So here, as per the section 2 subsection 63 of the Act, the all registered dealers are entitled to claim the input tax credit, provided that he has received the inputs, provided that he has paid the invoice amount, provided that he has used the inputs for the business purpose or intended to use the inputs for business purpose, and he is not a composite dealer. So looking to all these conditions, we can say who are entitled to claim the input tax credit and who are not entitled to claim the input tax credit. The net tax liability of a dealer is the actual tax liability. So here, what do you mean by net tax liability? Here, the output tax liability minus input tax liability, that difference is known as net tax liability. Every dealer is liable to deposit this net tax liability to the government. So by giving the deduction of input tax, by giving the deduction of input tax in the output tax, it helps the dealer to pay the tax only to the extent of value added by him. So therefore, the one of the principles of the GST is it is value addition tax, and another one is it has no cascading effect. So this is the meaning of the input tax credit. So in my earlier chapters, many times I explained you how to calculate the net tax liability of the each dealer. That is how to calculate output tax liability, then how to deduct the input tax liability in the output tax liability, so that we'll get the net tax liability. With the many examples in my earlier classes, I explained you. Even in my notes also, I have given you the number of illustrations of the calculation of the input tax credit. Here, coming to the terms used under this chapter. So there are different terms are used by the Act under this chapter. So inputs means the purchase is made by the dealer. Then come to the next one, input services. So sometime he purchases goods and also he avails the services during the course of his business. So those are called as input services. Then come to the next one, the word used is input tax. Here the tax included in the input prices, the tax included in the purchases of a dealer. So that is called as input tax. Then coming to the next one, we will discuss the one by one, where so we'll go to the conditions for the claiming of input tax credit. The very first condition to claim the input tax credit is that the dealer must be registered under GST Act. Only registered dealers are entitled to claim the input tax credit. It means if the dealer is unregistered dealer, if the dealer is not registered under the Act, so he is not liable to claim input tax. He is not entitled to claim the input tax credit. He is not eligible to claim the input tax credit. So this is the very first condition. That is that he must be the registered dealer. Then come to the next one, second one. The goods which are purchased, called as inputs. These goods must be used in the course of business. These must be used in the course of business. Let it be in any form, maybe in the form of raw material or in the form of only goods in case of trading activities, maybe the capital goods, whatever it may be. So inputs must be used in the course of business, or these must be intended to use in the due course of the business activities. So this is the second condition, that the goods must be used in the business. Then coming to the next one, here the third condition for to claim the input tax credit is that there must be documentary evidence. So whenever the registered dealer, he wants to claim input tax credit, he has to submit documentary evidences for his purchases. So the very best documentary evidences to the purchase is that purchase invoice, or you can say inward invoice. So inward invoice is the best documentary evidence to claim the input tax credit. So the other documents come like debit notes, credit notes, and bill of entry. So the documents which are relating to the purchases of a trader. So to claim the input tax credit, he has to present these documentary evidences. If he has no invoices, no purchase invoices, then he cannot claim input tax credit. Then, so this is the third condition. The first one is he must be a registered dealer. Then second one, here the goods must be used in the business. The third one, here documentary evidences. And the fourth one is that here there must be actual purchase of the goods, or there must be actual receipt of the supply. Then only the dealer is allowed to claim the input tax credit. For example, the invoices are there, but still the goods are not received. So there is no actual supply. So if that is the case, then he cannot claim the input tax credit. So this is the fourth condition. Then coming to the next one, the tax charge, the tax which is mentioned on the purchase invoice must be paid to the government. Then only the registered dealer is entitled to claim the input tax credit. It should match in electronic credit ledger. If it is not matching, then he is not entitled to claim input tax credit. Then coming to the next one, furnishing of return, the next condition. To claim the input tax credit, the dealer has to furnish, he has to submit GSTR 2. So in forthcoming videos, I'm going to explain you different GST returns. So among those returns, the second one is GSTR 2. So GSTR 2 is relating to the purchases of goods, inward supply. So here, this GSTR 2 has to be submitted by the dealer within stipulated period as per the provisions of the Act. Then only he is entitled to claim input tax credit. Otherwise, he is not entitled to claim the input tax credit. Then coming to the next one, here, if the goods say he purchased 100 units and these 100 units he is receiving in installments, say in first installment 40 units, in second installment 40 units, and in third installment 20 units. Now the question arises, when the dealer is entitled to claim input tax credit. So if that is the case, then the dealer is allowed to claim the input tax credit only after the receipt of the last installment of the goods. So this is under condition to claim the input tax credit. Then coming to the next condition here, the payment of invoice. So whatever the goods that he has purchased, so whatever the services that he has received as an input, the amount of those purchases must be paid by the dealer to the supplier. So the stipulated period as per the provisions of the Act is 180 days. So within 180 days, the amount which is mentioned on the purchase invoice, inward invoice, that has to be paid by the dealer. Then only he is entitled to claim input tax credit. Then come to the next one here, input tax credit. Input tax credit can be claimed on the zero rated supply also. So while explaining the GST rates, I already explained you the meaning of the zero rated supply. So that is, zero rated supply includes exports and exports to the special economic zones. So if your outward supply is of export, or if your outward supply is to the special economic zone units, then you are, even though there is no output tax liability, but you are entitled to claim input tax credit. So these are the different conditions to claim the input tax credit. Then the question arises, who are not entitled to claim the input tax credit? So as far as my knowledge is concerned, here the first one, unregistered dealer is not entitled to claim input tax credit. And one more point here, the second one is, a person who has opted the composition scheme, compounded scheme, a person who is not paying GST in regular scheme, a person who is paying under compounded scheme, he is not entitled to claim the input tax credit. So these 2 points that you have to keep in mind, that is, who are not entitled to claim the input tax credit. So meaning of the input tax credit is over. Then conditions, different conditions are over. Then one more point to be remembered relating to the input tax credit is that mechanism of input tax credit. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರ ಯಾವ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗ ನಾವು ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಈಗ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ಇರ್ತಾವ್ರಿ? ಸೇ if it is intrastate sale, we are going to find CGST and SGST output tax liability. If it is interstate sale, so there is what? IGST. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬರ್ತದೆ ರೀ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ IGST ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಸ್ IGST ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ CGST ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ SGST ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನೀವು ತಗೋರಿ ಯಾವುದಂದ್ರೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ CGST ಐತಿ, ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ನಾವು ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ CGST ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಮತ್ತು IGST ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ CGST ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ CGST ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ IGST ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ SGST ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಏನು ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ SGST ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ IGST ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇನ್ನು ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ IGST ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು? ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ IGST ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ CGSTನೂ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, SGSTನೂ ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಬಹಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ CGST ಒಳಗೆ SGST ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ SGST ಒಳಗೆ CGST ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದು ಬರಂಗಿಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋರಿ, ಉಳಿಕಿದ್ ನೀವು ಅಡ್ಜಸ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ರಿ? CGST ಒಳಗೆ SGST ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, SGST ಒಳಗೆ CGST ಮೈನಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಇಷ್ಟು ನೀವು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋರಿ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಐಜಿಎಸ್ಟಿನ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಈ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ PDF ಫೈಲ್ಸ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಅವನ್ನ ನೀವು ಇನ್ನೊಮ್ಮೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋರಿ. ಅದ್ರಾಗ ಏನಾರು ಡೌಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನನಗೆ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಅಗೇನ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ little on the GSTR returns. Thank you. Thank you, and stay home, stay safe. Thank you.